this is Daryl Johnson from Travel and Hip Hop. I'm here today at the Istanbul Hyatt Regency in Atakoy with the executive chef, Mr. Alex Moser from Berlin, on behalf of Travel and Hip Hop, and we're going to talk about food, music, and life in general. How are you today, Mr. Moser?
Thank you so much. Glad to have you here.
Pleasure is all mine.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, I just want to, find out and pick your brain a little bit about some of the, your influences for food and how do you see the culinary world and the music world? How do they join as one? And just ask a couple of questions about you and what you guys do.
Well, I think in general, I think that the culinary world is very, very much connected to all kinds of things. I mean, even to hip hop.
Well, I heard from a little bird that you are really into doing things that other chefs and other facilities are not into doing. You like to experiment and go over. Don't not stay the status quo. You like to be different. Give me a little bit of information on
Well,
that.
I think that I mean, as I said, I think we covering really a big majority, and we have certain things which you need to have because that's based on culture, based on international travelers. They will always ask for a burger, so the burger always will be there, right? But in the end of the day, we always try to do something different because I think it's important. Food is important in terms of what experience do we leave behind you when you leave the restaurant, right? I mean, there's a lot of famous chefs, very good chefs outside, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to reach really something which makes you memorize. Oh, I went to Brizo Restaurant.
Great, great. I just want to also ask you, in regards to hip hop music now, who are some of your favorite artists, past and present?
Well, obviously, I'm from Berlin, so we have a very old school hip hop scene as well. There's a very good German artist, and of course, if you look at Funk Master Flex, right, which is like really old school and everybody knows it, and even until today, people are still going crazy about it. And then, of course, you have some new artists, which is, and then of course you have Rishal Will, who's
Gift, gift from God, new album.
the gift from God with the new album, which is like the current one, which is really inspiring. So I think there's a lot of going on.
Thank you, thank you. So, I mean, what also, as far as you becoming a chef, I mean, what took you down that path?
You see, when you're at school and we had to decide what you want to be, there was always the option. Okay, do I go into the IT industry? Because by my time was when the internet was started and everybody said, wow, the hype is on the computer industry. So I did a few jobs in that field, which it was so boring to me. And then, I always loved to cook at home and I always cooked for my parents when I was young. So I said, like, listen, why don't I do, try to be a chef? And it turned out pretty well. I'm very happy. I wouldn't regret any step I did in my career so far, and it's very exciting meeting new customers, meeting new people, meeting new cultures by traveling. So I think it's just it's amazing.
And then what do you think about the overall hip hop scene or music scene in Istanbul?
You think I think in Istanbul has there is definitely a scene, but I think it's not the hype is not there. And I remember again I said I come from Berlin. Berlin obviously is a techno scene. Wherever you go, there's the best techno clubs in the world you can find in Berlin. And it also took some time when for the R&B to really come back again. And actually, if you go there today, you have more hip hop parties than you find techno parties. So the whole field is changing. And I think in Istanbul is the same thing. I think it takes time, and I think that people have a complete misunderstanding of what is actually hip hop, because I think a lot of people they're not educated enough to know what is hip hop, and I think that's where we have to start in order to develop and bring it up.
I totally agree, and that's a lot what this whole travel and hip hop movement is about. One last question. I know you're a busy man. I won't take up too much of your time today. I want to ask you, what advice would you give to any aspiring chefs out there today?
Well, I think the most inspiring, and that's also what I explain to my people, which I think is the most important, is you have to respect the product, because yes, it's just for some people it's just food, but you also have to remember that there's a lot of people in the world which are suffering, and they don't have anything to eat. So the moment you disrespect and you throw it in the garbage because I don't need it, I ordered it, but I don't want it. That's something where I think once you start developing that thought, I believe your way of eating also change. And I think once you start changing your eating habits, you already change the environment. Because if you look at numbers, I think 25 to 30%, if I'm not mistaken, of the food we produce and what goes in the garbage because of overproduction, because of not usage, because of wrong education of how to keep, how to store. So I think if we look at this and start to respect what we eat, um, then I think we're already making a step forward. And then of course the quality is very important because with bad quality you can't cook good food. It's impossible. So I think rather concentrate of what you buy and how you use it, and I think that's the most important of dealing with food.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moser, for your time.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
Nice to have
Much
you
love
again.
from the Traveling Hip Hop family back in the USA. And this is Mr. Johnson, Traveling Hip Hop, signing out. Peace.